Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It is so nice to see so many faces in this sanctuary that we haven't seen for years. And I'm not saying that in a guilty kind of way, but just know that you've been missed. And I would say it's an easy task to get people to come out when we have Mr. Softy, but I know that you're not just here for Mr. Softy, but that you're here because we as a community are ready to welcome a new chapter in Temple Shari Emeth as we welcome Rabbi Jonathan Falco this evening as our new assistant rabbi. We have not had an assistant rabbi in 21 years, I believe. So this is a beautiful moment. Welcome. And tonight we will be hearing from Rabbi Falco. He's going to be teaching us Torah and participating in the service. And I encourage you at the end to stay outside and say hello. And don't change your clothing ever so that he will remember you next time he sees you. Take a moment to introduce yourself and come throughout the summer so that he can get to know you. We'll be having some nice events for you to meet him in person and personally. As our service begins, I am Rabbi Pankin.
I'm Cantor Wally Shackett Briskin.
And we're joined by Fabian Burston, who returns as our president once again. Welcome, Fabian. Nice to have you back up here. And it is a pleasure to welcome all of you. Just a few reminders as we begin. Take a moment, check your cell phone, make sure it's in off or silent mode so as not to disturb our worship. We also encourage you when you come in the room to pay attention to where the exits are. There is one exit up here, two on the sides here, one on the side there, and then there are two more in the back. It is good practice wherever you go to have a sense of where the exits are. Because there are so many beautiful people in this room, I encourage you also as we begin to take a moment, look around you, find one person you don't know, introduce yourself to that person, and wish them Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to our Mr. Softy Shabbat. I'm so excited to be back as your president and look forward to attending many events and hopefully meeting many of you during the year. I feel like I know most of you already, and I look forward to meeting some of our new members as well. So I have to say, on my first day, I don't know how it's possible, but Rabbi Falco got me upset. And I want him to come up here and I want to explain why. I walked up here and I looked at the board and I saw all the names. It said, Rabbi Pankin, Cantor Wally, Rabbi Emeritus Philip Schechter, Cantor Emeritus Cantor Syed, Assistant Rabbi Falco. And then I was like, where's my name? I couldn't find my name. So my wife, I go to my wife, where's my name? So she goes, she dug that, she starts looking and she's digging through the bushes. She goes, oh, there's your name. It's underneath there. So I'm down, one more down on the totem pole. Just kidding. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on the board.
So we're so happy to have an opportunity to welcome a new addition to our Temple Shari Emeth family, Rabbi Jonathan Falco. As you know, Jonathan will be our new assistant rabbi, and with our congregation with more than 700 families is sorely needed. I want to thank our search committee who did the hard work of finding Rabbi Falco, as well as the Board of Trustees for approving for such an important role for our congregation. I'm hoping you have the opportunity to get to meet Jonathan, Rabbi Falco, during this evening. We'll be planning some meet and greets with him during the summer months. so you'll have an opportunity to really get to know him. This is our first of the Summer Shabbat series, and obviously it's not outside, it's kind of hot out there, and chance of rain, but we look forward to a number of our Summer Shabbat series, and again, I want to, this is something that Stuart Brown kind of plans and organizes. So on July 8th, we'll have our Salsa Sangria Shabbat. July 15th, our famous Barbecue Shabbat. July 29th will be our Snow Cone Shabbat. August 5th is our Shore Shabbat. August 12th is the Sushi Shabbat. August 19th is the Sunday Shabbat. And August 26th is the Sweet and Salty Shabbat. And we know our congregation loves their food, so we're hoping that you come out and not only come for these great services that we have, but also enjoy the fringe benefits of coming to the services. Couple other announcements. We have a good opportunity to meet Rabbi Falco is during our Torah studies. Both Rabbi Falco and Rabbi Pankin will be doing them every Wednesday at 11 o'clock and Saturday at 9 o'clock. So if you have an opportunity, that's a great way to get to know both our rabbis. We have a Baby Time Shake, Rattle, and Grow for ages 6 to 12 months. That starts on July 11th and goes all the way to August 15th. So if you want information about that, I would ask Sharon Cohen about it. July 13th, we have our Sisterhood Book Club. So if you're interested in that, look on our internet and find our Alyssa Milbrod, who's our president of that club. We had a softball game just last week. Unfortunately, our men's club lost against Marlboro Jewish, but I heard they played a good game. Lastly, I want to thank Jennifer Fessler for doing a wonderful job as president. I was the previous president, and I left her a big job with the integration, a lot of things that needed to be put together, and obviously there were things that happened during the year. That always happens to a president, and she really did a phenomenal job for us. So with that, I want to say thank you. I look forward to a great year, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Fabian, and welcome back. And just to clarify, I teach Torah study on Wednesday, and Rabbi Falco teaches on Saturday. I just don't want you to be disappointed if you showed up and one of us wasn't there. But please join us. The Saturday morning minyan is wonderful, so please come out, study Torah from 9 to 10, and then stay for minyan and pray a little bit and get to make some nice new friends. We will start our service this evening with the lighting of Shabbat candles and the blessing of the wine. And the two people who are leading the blessing tonight are sort of different ends of the spectrum. It's my pleasure to call up Cindy Rosenberg, a longtime member of our choir, who is singing for the last time tonight with the choir before she moves to Philadelphia. So we have someone who's moving and someone who's moving in, and Rabbi Jonathan Falco to lead us in the Kiddush. We'll begin on page 3. I can leave that there.
Shadows washed away, the gate still open, as 3 stars wait to pierce the sky. In the corridor, where night bears its maze, you begin to begin again. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Unmute this thing. Thank you. Here we go. Blessed is the Eternal One, Sovereign of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Let us hallow the Sabbath day in remembrance of creation. As we bless the source of life, so are we blessed.
Stars reflect off heaven's hem as Shabbat enters quietly. Away all week, Shabbat is the fruit of 6 days imaginings.
Hushed and soft with tender smile, Shabbat greets us as we raise our cups. Shabbat perches upon the rim and nods as we bless and praise and remember.
Come again to us, gracious host. Fill our hearts with peace. Come sing with us, sweet singer. We will fill our mouths with praise.
Surround us with Shabbat's beauty, all time in a day. Surround us with the faces of our dear ones, now and then and still to be.
Come again to us, gracious host. Come again as Shabbat is seated at our table. Come sing with us, sweet singer, as Shabbat fills our home with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Asher
kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu,
v'Shabbat
kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinilanu,
zikaron l'maaseh
v'reishit,
ki hu yom tefillah l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim, ki vanu acharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
Amen.
continue page 5, reading responsively on the bottom. Among our many appetites, there is a craving after God.
Among our many attributes, there's a talent for worshiping God.
Jews who wandered in the deserts beneath the stars knew their hearts were hungry for God.
Jews who studied in candlelit ghettos, rooms thirstingly after God.
In tent or slum, Jewish women prayed to God.
But we who are smothered with comfort sometimes forget to listen.
Help us, O God, to recognize our need, to hear the yearning whisper of our hearts.
Help us to seek the silence of the desert and the thoughtfulness of the house of study.
Bless us, like our ancestors in ancient days, with that most precious gift, a sense of your presence.
Brush us with the wind of your being. Fill us with the awe of your holiness. We too will praise, glorify, and exalt your name. Yitgadal ve'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Ve'alamad yivrach yirutei ve'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach. Le'alam u'la'alamei alamaya. Yitbarach. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach. Ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. Ve'yithadar ve'yinaleh. Ve'yithalal shemei d'kudsha richu. Le'elamin kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran me'alma v'meru. Amen. We invite you to rise for our call to worship.
I have not seen the robin, but I know he is there because I heard him singing through my window from the treetop outside.
I have not seen God, but I have looked at my child's eyes and have been overwhelmed by the miracle of unfolding life.
I've watched the trees bedeck themselves with new garbs of green in the spring and have been stirred by the miracle of continual birth.
I have looked at the stars and been overcome by the miracle of the grandeur and majesty of the universe.
I know that God exists because I've heard the song of God's presence from all the treetops of creation. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach sharim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom valayla, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ari haravi. Page 8. With the numbers of those here recounted, our ancestors, God led us into the wilderness, divided the Red Sea for us, spoke to us from the fires of Sinai, revealed God's self to Moses in a rushing wind.
Earth, water, fire, and air. These are the elements of our existence.
God gave them to us on the day of creation. God gave them to us at the time of the Exodus, gives them to us every day of our lives.
Oh, praise God, whose law is a gift to everyone, as free as fire, as near as air, as basic as water and earth.
Oh, praise God, the rock and ground of our being, who gives us the fires of faith, the breath of spirit, the still waters of peace. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Page 10. I, Miriam, stand at the sea and turn to face the desert, stretching endless and still. My eyes are dazzled, the sky brilliant blue, sunburnt sands unyielding white. My hands turn to dove's wings, my arms reach for the sky, and I want to sing the song rising inside of me. My mouth open, I stop. Where are the words? Where the melody? In a moment of panic, my eyes go blind. Can I take a step without knowing a destination? Will I falter? Will I fall? Will the ground sink away from under me? The song still unformed. How can I sing? To take the first step, to sing a new song, is to close one's eyes and dive into the unknown waters, for a moment knowing nothing, risking all, but then to discover the waters are friendly, the ground is firm, and the song rises again. Out of my mouth come the words lifting the wind, and I hear for the first the song that has been in my heart, silent, unknown, even to me. Page 11 on the bottom. Where will I find God whose glory fills the universe?
I find God wherever the farmer plows a furrow through the hard soil,
Wherever the quarryman pounds the stone to gravel.
wherever one earns her bread by the sweat of her brow.
In the company of the friendless, the afflicted, the lowly, the lost.
There God abides in sun and shower,
I find God wherever the mind is free to follow its own bent.
wherever words come out from the depths of truth.
Wherever tireless striving stretches its arms toward perfection.
Wherever people struggle for freedom and right.
Wherever the scientist toils to unbear the secrets of nature.
Wherever the poet strings pearls of beauty in lyric lines.
Wherever glorious deeds are done.
I find God in merry shouts of children at play.
In the lullaby the mother sings, rocking her baby to sleep.
In the slumber that falls on the infant's eyelids.
And in the smile that plays on his sleeping lips.
Amidah. Adonai sefatai timtahu v'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid atah, Mechakel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umchayem emunato, Lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umchayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
We'll read responsibly at the top of page 14. There is holiness when we strive to be true to the best we know.
There is holiness when we are kind to someone who cannot possibly be of service to us.
There is holiness when we promote family harmony.
There is holiness when we forget what divides us and remember what unites us.
There is holiness when we are willing to be laughed at for what we believe in.
There is holiness when we love truly and honestly and unselfishly.
There is holiness when we remember the lonely and bring cheer into a dark corner.
There is holiness when we gather to pray to the God who gave us the power to pray. Holy, holy, holy is our universe. All of life can be filled with the glory of existence.
Together we read at the center of page 114,
All the invisible things fill our days, music and love and laughter. All the intangible things affect us, words and anger and prejudice. You are invisible and intangible, a God of moods and relationships. Within us, you are the spirit of unity. Beyond us, you are the guide to greatness. We pray to you with an invisible, intangible prayer. You answer with a flaming sunset and the touch of a baby's cheek.
pause for a moment of silent reflection.
The choir would like to offer a special welcome for Rabbi Falco this evening. Rabbi Falco, it is a pleasure to welcome you here. I remember way back in the day when I was an assistant rabbi at Temple Shari Tefillah, how the thing that I loved most about being an assistant rabbi was that it was the time for me to learn how to be a rabbi in a safe, warm, and loving community. And you were lucky because look out at these beautiful faces. This is a safe, warm, and loving community. And as
Definitely beautiful, too.
yeah, they're a good-looking bunch, aren't they? And Hamish. But as you take your place on this bima as rabbi, we hope that you will know that we are here to support you, to welcome you, and to learn from you. And we look forward to all that you will bring to this congregation. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to you to teach us a little bit of Torah this evening.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Pankin. And thank you so much all for being here, and especially to the choir. That was such a gift and a blessing. Thank you all so much. It really means a lot to me. So welcome, everyone. Good Shabbos. It's Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name, as we had said, is Rabbi Jonathan Falco, and I am so glad to be with you all here on this evening. I'm often averse to speaking about myself at any time while on the bima, but tonight allow me to begin on a personal note. Standing here before you is a very special occasion and a very special moment for me in my life. It is the realization of a childhood dream that was not fleeting but pursued, manifested in this exciting, curious, and familial kindness that this Kehillah, this holy community, clearly embodies. Well, this evening, we speak about Parashat Korach. It's a goodie. And it also happens to be among one of the most fitting of portions, introducing us to one another. I'll explain. Now, those who are familiar with the story of Korach's rebellion against Moses and Aaron, the community's top leaders, may find themselves reasonably confused by the drawing of such a parallel on this night. Korach did grow a popular following that threatened to upend Moses' authority. Yet it consisted of those who acted of one mind, that of Korach's, and not of their own. Korach, the great-grandson of Levi, cobbles together a crew of 250 respected communal leaders, along with Datan, Abiram, and On, who themselves were descendants of Reuben. Together, this group rises up against Moses and his authority, and they accuse him of being holier than thou, in the face of what is a congregation of holy people. In Numbers 16:10, it's made quite explicit. The people express their frustration and say, and they combined against Moses and Aaron, and they said to them, "You have gone too far, for all the community are holy, all of them, and God is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above God's congregation?" Moses, totally stunned at this allegation, metaphorically throws up his hands and offers the most fair of judgments. Allow God to decide who the righteous leader is. As part of this ritual, Moses challenges Korach and his followers to a fire pan ritual, more like a contest, really, those are my words. This fire pan ritual in this sanctuary that very next morning. Confident in the result, Moses asserts that God will make holy who is he and who is not. Foreboding words. Now, whenever there are fire pans involved, beware. The Israelites crowded around the two camps. Korach and his rebellions worked the crowd against the leadership. That is, the establishment and those duly charged with the responsibility of the body politic. Who is the rightful leader? The people wanted to know. Well, their answer arrived in the form of a divinely ordained eruption that blotted out Korach, Datan, Abiram, and the rest of the 250 chieftains who felt compelled to join Korach in his rebellion against Moses and Aaron. Wise ones recognize that those who were thereby swallowed by the earth were in the wrong. They ain't no holy chiefs, and such did God decree. After this extraordinary demonstration of judgment and power, a display that indisputably affirmed Moses' mandate to lead, yet another unexpected twist would begin to unfold. In the sight of all the Israelites, the rabble-rousers plummeted to their deaths. They attempted to usurp Moses' authority for their own personal gain. Given such selfish motives, how could the average Israelite, not the Levites, but the average Israelite, those uninvolved in the altercation, no real skin in the game, except for what had been told to them about the lies from Korach and his followers, how could they possibly blame Moses for the death of those who perished by God's hand? Clearly, the people were angry. But why? A cabal makes not for a community. And so we wonder what all the commotion is about. Medieval commentator Ibn Ezra deduced that the entire dispute actually originates from a political shift orchestrated by Moses in an effort to consolidate the right of the firstborn male to apply instead exclusively to those of the Levite clan, almost like a power grab kind of thing. The persuasiveness of his argument, that is of Ibn Ezra, that this was a political dispute, fails to address the widespread support Korach's movement enjoyed. Most notably, these followers were not Levites themselves, but they supported Korach's mission. The question then becomes, how did Korach garner such hostility on part of the Israelite people by using an argument that blatantly self-served him? The Talmud sheds light on this enigma as it explains that to foment his rebellion, Korach spends all night, tribe to tribe, accusing Moses and Aaron of wrongdoing. He carefully crafts his speech for each audience, but his message always makes that same point. I am not like Moses and Aaron, who want to attain fame and power for themselves. I want all of us to enjoy life. And so Korach wins support of the people by deceiving them. Despite the tragedy that ensues, the remaining Israelites condemn Moses and Aaron for the deaths of the rebels, despite having witnessed God's divine punishment with their very own eyes. Illogical. Now, it's a harsh settlement to punish those who may have innocently been misled into believing Korach's falsehoods. For after all, our God is a merciful God, one of compassion and justice. Such traits would seem at odds with the rebels God eviscerated for the sin of landing on the wrong side of a conflict. Ordinarily, this would be at odds with such a divine conception. In fact, Moses himself rescues the remainder of the camp from God's wrath via plague as part of the incident's fallout. Now, modern Torah scholar Nahama Leibowitz's teachings on this passage help shed light onto this matter. Leibowitz describes two different types of disputes, two different types. One one of which characterizes Korach's rebellion. Leibowitz explains that there is one dispute that is pursued for heavenly or good cause, and one that is pursued for selfish reasons. In other words, Leibowitz would place this particular dispute of which we're speaking under the bad category. The visions of equality and equanimity by Korach were always unachievable. In fact, such lofty aims have proven their failure time and time again throughout world history. We need only look back to the utopian promises of the former Soviet Union to realize that such a societal paradise is not merely fiction, but rather a tool with which to centralize power over its people. Simply put, people are tempted to believe what they desire to hear. At the same time, not only were Korach's distinguished followers motivated by self-serving promises of elevated stature, they also propagated the fallacy that Moses' leadership was inadequate. But perhaps the most disturbing factor of all is the lack of those who challenged the false narrative peddled before them. In this light, Parshat Korach not only warns us of the dangers inherent to a character the likes of Korach, but also, and what I would say is most importantly, is to think independently and for ourselves, and particularly to always be wary of any claims to authority, no matter how enticing they may be. When we rely on our own values, as did Moses, and trust in God's judgment, elements of chaos give way to stability. The narrative order is restored when the 12 tribal leaders' staffs placed in the sanctuary with the names of each inscribed on them, including Aaron's on his, all except for Aaron's failed to blossom, a confirmation of the Levitical divine role as one that passes exclusively through Aaron's lineage. Ultimately, expiation on behalf of our opponents or adversaries, the expiation that Moses instructed Aaron to do to stop the plague from God killing the rest of the people, the ones that were fighting against them, and yet Moses and Aaron said, stop doing this. They don't deserve this, even though they hate us right now. Ultimately, expiation on behalf of those kinds of people, our adversaries or our opponents, is precisely the difficult but achievable challenge that is presented to us by our portion today. For sometimes, acting independently for the good and against one's personal interest is a meritorious rebellion in its own right, and one worthy of contemplation and imitation. May our very, very Jewish tradition of thinking independently, striving to mirror the godly attributes of compassion and forgiveness, endure. May atav ad olam, for all time, from now until eternity. Ken yehi ratzon, may it be God's will.
Yesher koach.
Thank you.
And you know I always say, whenever we come to a special moment, we never let it go by. We acknowledge it, we embrace it, and we say a blessing. And we want to say a blessing for you tonight, a Shehechianu, thanking God for getting us here 21 years later to, again, having a wonderful assistant rabbi.
Thank you so much. minds now turn to those who are in need of healing. Today, our community is thinking of Daniel and Mindy Minerva, Stephen Rice, Jordan Silverman, Brian Roche, Ron Klug, Arlene Schwartz, Harriet Domro, Kate Ratner, Jane Lieberman, Ron Labovitz, Elisa Foreman, Lynn Norot, Mort Cohen, Mel Crystal, Linda Seal, Jordan Horowitz, Jack Block, Grayson Shukovsky, Spencer Gray Rothstein, Brody Scher, Fira Schwartz, Samuel Finkelstein, Alexander and Eugenia Litovskaya, Rachel Orenstein, Alan Jacobs, Debbie Pincus, Karen Martinez and John Allen, Susan Reich, Joyce Welkus, and Harriet Marcus, as well as Litman Bear Ben Shalom Vachaya. We're also thinking of those afflicted with COVID-19, as well as those in Ukraine, in memory of over 1,041,000 Americans who have succumbed to COVID, over 6,354,000 in the world. During the period of Shiva, we remember
If there are those that you'd like to mention who could use a prayer for healing, we invite you to simply say their names aloud now. For those we've named, for those we haven't, and for those we name silently in our hearts, Misha Beirach Avotenu V'Imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who are ill. May their doctors and nurses be skillful and compassionate. May those who care for them find support and comfort. And may they all be granted Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, the complete healing of body and spirit, as together we say,
rise for Aleinu.
Adon HaKol, Latet Gidula Leotzer Bereshit, Shelo Asanu Kigoye הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגוהי מרומי. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד.
Together we read, and then all that has divided us will merge.
And then compassion will be wedded to power, and then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind, and then both men and women will be gentle, and then both women and men will be strong, and then no person will be subject to another's will, and then all will be rich and free and varied, and then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then all will share equally in the earth's abundance, and then all will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then all will nourish the young, and then all will cherish life's creatures. And then all will live in harmony with each other and the earth, and then everywhere will be called Eden once again. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Please be seated. Page 18. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them.
In the blowing of the leaves and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
In the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them.
As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. If you are here remembering a loved one and we say their name, we invite you to rise and to remain standing until we all rise for Mourner's Kaddish together at the end. This evening we call to mind the more than 1,041,000 Americans and the more than 6,300,000 around the world who've succumbed to COVID-19. We recall the names of those whose families are currently in the 7-day mourning period of Shiva. Corrine Batlin Altenhouse, the mother of Amy Altenhouse, mother-in-law of Ralph Mavis and grandmother of Sarah Potter. Bert Stillman, the father of Jack Stillman and Mona Kirshner, father-in-law of Marcy Stillman and Robert Kirshner, and grandfather of Rebecca, Ben, Daniel, and Rachel. And Nathan Hindis, grandfather of Karen Burstein, grandfather-in-law of Brian Burstein, and great-grandfather of Penelope. We remember those whose families are currently in the 30-day mourning period of Shloshim, Jerry Rosemarin. And we recall those whose yahrzeit falls this week: Donna Barcone, Lila Baum, Irving Baum, Kenneth R. Boylan, Larry Bookfor, Neil Burstein, Natalie J. Chansey, Harry Copperman, Jay Davis, Beverly Davis, Judith Druckman, Leo Edwab, Arthur Eisner, Samuel Feldman, Sherry Goldberg, Abraham Gordon, Benjamin Heller, Bella Hirsch, Pauline Graber Hirsch, Lester Kaplan, Joseph Kurtman, Minnie Kesselman, Beatrice Krinsky, Philip Lepper, Diane Letzen, Ralph Millett, Leah Mizrahi.
E. Arthur Mossberg, Shirley Newman, Irving H. Pines, Abraham H. Podolsky, Jerry Rittman, Reuben Rosenthal, Stuart Sack, Eric Salmon, Nathan Samuels, Michael Satnick, Louis Shames, Phil Shaw, Ida Sherman, Sylvia Siegelbaum, Sherry Lynn Silberstein, Matthew E. Silverman, Max Strassman, Deanne Stein, Fred Tepper, Benjamin Trubitz, Harry B. Warner, Esther Waxman, David Weber, Charlotte Newman Weinberg, Nathan Yesner, Esther Zarrow. And each week we call to mind 6 unique individuals who perished in the Shoah, the Holocaust. Miklos Rubinstein, Yosef Rosenthal, Atun Rosa, Samuel Poltorak, Isaac Malamud, Mendel Schnoll.
Zichron Levracha, may those who have touched our lives continue to bless us through the beauty of their memory. We rise now as a community for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chaye chon u'v'yomei chon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'v'yizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekutsha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved, as together we say, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Please be seated. We always want to thank those who make donations to support the community, and donations were made this Shabbat, in memory of Eugene Paris, Bert Stillman, Corrine Batlin Altenhouse, and Nathan Hindis, for the yard sites of Jacob Dollinger, David Weber, Joseph Kurtman, Leo Edwab, Phil Shaw, Jerry Rittman, Nathan Samuels, Matilda Tilly Farber, Arthur Mossberg, Eric Salmon, Betty Cannelstein, Genevieve A. Campora, Leon Binder, and Irving Baum. And donations were made in honor of the birth of Walter Stanley Bacalar and the engagement of Jared Kaplan to Alexandra Leon. And some mazel tovs, too. This is a big list, but it's like an inter-family kind of mazel tov. To Susan and Louis Bacalar on the birth of their new grandson, Walter Stanley Bacalar. Proud parents are Mallory and Jonathan Bacalar, and big sister is Lucy. And proud aunts and uncles are Marcia and Evan Wasserman and Marlene and Howard Burson, and they are the cousins of Pam and Michael Burson. So there are a lot of Temple members who are so excited that Walter has entered this world. And also a mazel tov, not as many involved, but just as important, to Jerry and Michael Kaplan on the engagement of their son Jared to Alexandra. Mazel tov. So, are there any, is it on?
Here's a working one over here.
Okay. No, I got it.
No, you got it.
Here you go.
Alrighty.
You know what to do. I'm going to start us off tonight. We always take a moment for good news, and people are going to raise their hand, and you have to run around and give them the microphone, like Phil Donahue.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait for this.
I didn't tell him he was doing this. But I'll start off tonight because today I am celebrating the beginning of my 20th year with all of you, which is very exciting. Thank you.
My son is engaged.
Mazel tov!
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations. All right. We're going this way.
Last week, my grandson Mikey graduated from middle school to high school with honors.
Oh,
Mazel
all
tov.
right, there we go.
Amazing.
This is the first time we're back in Tempo after 2 years, and Sunday we're leaving on a trip to Bermuda.
Ah,
All right, we're so glad you made it here.
you didn't
Excellent.
invite us.
Next Shabbat, Shelley and I are going to see a very old friend from Temple Road of Torah. It's our traveling Torah, which went from here to Paris to Copenhagen, and is now at the Crouch End Havara in northern London. It's a Havara of 80 families, and we're going to get to see the Torah used in a bar mitzvah.
Wow, that is awesome.
I have a two-parter. Thanks, first of all, to everyone that's prayers and well wishes. Our son Adam's doing very well. He's really had a very tough year, and I'd also like to announce his engagement to wonderful girl Caitlin, who helped him get through the past year.
Poo, poo, poo. Mazel tov.
A triple mitzvah to hear that on Shabbat, you know?
Rabbi, you took my steam, but my son is engaged too.
Yay!
Mazel tov. That's right.
Tomorrow, Neil and I celebrate.
Stand up. Please.
Tomorrow, Neil and I celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Mazel tov.
That's a big one. You want this? No? All right.
Head to the back. Go to the
Here
back.
we go. We're over here. Here we go. Here we go.
A few weeks ago, we celebrated the graduation of my granddaughter from SUNY Buffalo.
All
Mazel
right.
tov.
Congratulations.
Last week, my younger daughter got married.
Oh,
mazel
congratulations.
tov.
Mazel tov. That's lovely. All right. Who else do we have? Did I see people over here? Anyone?
Some back, turn it.
Okay, here we go.
We just came back from a trip to Oklahoma, which may not sound that exotic, but it means I've now been in all 50 states.
Yes!
Hey, you can get the magnet
I've
now.
heard you, Rabbi, talk several times that you've been in all 50 states, so I knew you would appreciate it.
I'm so proud of you. Welcome to the 50 Club.
Well-rounded. There you go.
We just got back this morning from our cruise, which is 2 years overdue, which was my son's bar mitzvah present, which we finally were able to go on.
Nice. All right. Excellent. Did you enjoy it? It was awesome. That's great. That's awesome.
And one more all the way in the back.
All right. Here you go, sir.
All right, so I haven't been here in a month, so I'll make this as quick as possible. Big 30th birthday celebration. Got everyone over, catering, the works, my friends, family. Piece de resistance, a new Xbox Series X.
Wow.
And this week I went to the park and I actually was on a paddle boat, apparently. Yeah, we actually went, family and I, and yeah, there you go.
Wow, happy birthday.
Good week, my friend.
Sounds like a good one.
I think one more hand over here. Yes. All right. Here. I like your keeper.
Anyway, after 50 years, I'm a retired man as of yesterday.
Wow, that's a celebration. Okay, anyone else? We good? Okay.
I see some little faces in the back, too. All right. Good news is good news, but ice cream is ice cream. And I know we don't want it to melt outside. So let's say a motzi. Suzanne, would you be our challah giver? Thanks. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
We give thanks to God for bread.
Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is joyfully said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
And to close,
Adon olam asher malav b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasav v'chetzol kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra le'amarek kichot hakol levado yimloch lora vehu haya vehu hover vehu yeh b'tifara vehu yeh b'tifara vehu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshilo le'achbira le'li reishit le'li tachlit le'lo ha'oz ve'ha'misra le'lo ha'oz ve'ha'misra ve'hu Eli ve'chai go'ali ve'tzur chavli ve'etzara ve'hu nisi u'varosli ve'nat kosi be'yom ekra ve'nat kosi be'yom ekra ve'yado afkin ruchi ve'et tishan ve'ya'ira ve'im ruchi ve'yati Adonai li ve'lo ira Adonai li ve'lo ira. And I invite you to reach out and, if it's okay to grab the people around you, to grab them, pull them close. And if you don't have someone to grab, put your hands on your hearts as we come in blessing. We leave one another in blessing. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May you be blessed. May you be safe. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May you be luminous. May you be loved. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you be joyous. May you be healthy. May you be whole. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.